The thing about beginnings is that they can feel equal parts empowering and scary. On one hand, you're excited there's a shedding of things that no longer serve. And on the other, everything you've been told and taught tells you to dread this place and see it as some sort of decline, because in the end, what use are you if you're not forever young?
I've never felt more alive, confident,
settled,
at peace with my life, rich than I feel right now at 32.
And my 30 plus has been a mixture of, how do I put it, dynamic control and understanding myself.
And indifference, to societal standards, to the things that are expected of me.
Everything will be okay. In love with my life, in love with myself.
I don't feel hopeless anymore, and I really like that. So I was told that by 30, you had to have everything figured out. You had to know what you wanted to do with your life.
So I think the expectation for how you should be when you're 30, or in your 30s, just comes from what I've seen, the people I've watched growing up. The things they say, the things they attribute to adulting and building your life, they attach it to 30, oh, if you're not married by the time you're 30, or are you still going to be doing this when you're 30? They're just things that they attach to the age, that it feels okay, at this age is where you're supposed to be a fully formed human that does not need, guidance or anything anymore.
So one thing that I'm sure that everybody can relate to, it's marriage and love.
I did think that turning 30 would be having kids, be settled in your husband's house, because that's what I was taught. And not that there's anything wrong with that, because I have friends that's their reality, and I'm so happy for them. I'm not even being sarcastic. But that was what my parents or my environment at the time understood. That was what the society required, and that was what life was like.
My mother would tell me that when you're in your early 20s, 21, 22, 23, that's the age that mentors you. When you're going from 25, 26, you're becoming old. And so people are usually looking for people that are younger. And so sometimes when I'm thinking about where I'm at and where I'm going, I'm hey, so is it that when I get 27 now, I'll be fresh again?
I'm currently at a stage where I don't know whether I want children. Actually, that's a lie. I don't want children. But one of my really close guy friends who has 2 children, they're pushing me to freeze my eggs because you never know. You can never tell. You'll be the best mom, Akugo. Oh my God, Akugo, how can you not want to be a mom? You'll be such an amazing mom. I know.
If you're a Nigerian woman, especially, expectations start to hit you from at least 20. If you're Igbo, even younger, for some reason, it's just oh, at the back of your head, you already know that you're supposed to get married. Going from no boys allowed to where's your husband? It was such a culture shock. I'm babes, am I supposed to poop out the man or what? I don't know anything about boys. You people said no boys allowed, so here I am.
Everything changes state. What we fear is the burden of expectations, the disregard by strangers, the worry, the disappointment and unsolicited prayers from loved ones requesting for us a life we haven't expressly asked for.
But I started to question things around me, and I'm just no. And trust me, even that no was scary, because I'm just why are you even saying no? You shouldn't say no. That is what it is. But that self-awareness, that makes you think that, why does it have to be? What if I want to go the other way? If I'm at a T-junction, why do I have to go right? Because everybody's going right. There's some people that are going left and they're doing fine.
The road not taken.
Exactly. I want to take that road, and I'm on that road now. And I'm just I like you guys on the right. but I'm great on the left. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I would say the spirit of not giving a fuck is layered for me. There are things that it's a no-brainer, like, excuse you, I will say what I want to say. This is me now. And that's something that I'm super proud of myself for, because I'm coming from a place of, being shut down and hiding and having to shrink and wanting to be accepted and wanting to fit. And I'm at a place where I'm just like, I will be who I want to be. Take it or go home.
When I was younger, I just wanted people to accept me. But even getting married at an older age, it gave me like, okay, these are the things I can make my compromises on. These are the things I would also expect my partner to, make compromises on.
The one goal or the one thing I wanted to have when I was 30 is to be sure that my career was going on a good path that I wanted for myself. And I think I've been able to get that. So approaching 30 now, I didn't feel pressured because I knew that I was already on that path that I wanted.
I think what made my parents chill, especially my mom, chill on that was she was with me from the beginning of kind of sort of relationship. I was talking to someone, I was about 29 years old at the time, and I started talking to this man, right? And, she was informed from the very beginning from when I met him to, I think I was speaking to him for a month and a half. Seeing as we both were together kind of sort of in this relationship, was completely informed. She saw what it was like, being in like the dating scene in Nigeria, right? And, being in a dating scene at my age. And she was like, chill, it's not that deep. Wait for the right one, wait for God's time and all that. So
I married too young, and I was like 29 going to 30 when I got married. And for me, it was even too young. I'd always imagined I was going to marry as a 35-year-old woman, with no pressure. In fact, at the point, I didn't want kids. And all my friends knew, like, when they talk about kids, it just felt very foreign and distant to me.
Women give up so much of themselves in a way that I think perhaps, I don't know whether to say this, but perhaps only their daughters can see.
I said I didn't like kids. Now I want a child, because I realized that love just changes things about you. Part of the compromises I knew I was going to be able to make. Like, now I want to create a human. There's a testament or like an expression of the love that I share with my partner. Sometimes when I'm being stubborn or being like incredibly difficult in a situation with my partner, and then he will just pause and say, just imagine that he has a daughter that is like me. He will be in soup. And for me, I feel like, yes, he recognizes that he has a full person with him, not some version of wife that African people say we should all be.
I don't feel as much pressure as much as I want to make them happy. It's not their life. They're not going to be the ones in whatever relationship or marriage I end up in. It's my experience. It's my life. It's me that's going to suffer whatever I suffer. Do you get? So I think that's what drives me. I'm not going to look at you or what you think. It's me, right? At the end of the day, it's me that's going to experience and feel all these feelings and go through all these motions. So it's not about you. It's about me. And you should be okay with that. So yeah.
In the end, we realize embarking on this journey is no different from the concept of being in itself. You realize your fears and those projected on you don't cease to exist, but you keep moving, because to be crippled by the fear is to stop.
The thing that matters to me the most now, and even for a couple of years back, is just remaining still. So the world is always moving. Like, this year has been so fast. I heard someone saying it earlier, like, everything is always moving, like progressing. And progress is great, but sometimes, actually not sometimes, all the time, I like to be able to be still, because a lot of great things come from moments of stillness.
And so now I'm at that place where love is the most important thing to me, and it shows up in my relationship, my romantic relationships, my female friendships, even my family, even my mom. I'm more interested in my mom's life, in the choices she would have made if he was living in these times, all of these things now matter more to me.
Doing what matters to Ore and Ore alone. Because I've spent most of my life doing what people wanted me to do, or doing what I assumed people wanted me to do, how people wanted me to be, from family, friends, boyfriends, mentors. Definitely my peace of mind. Definitely my peace of mind. Especially this year. I've been in several kind of bad places. If not, emotionally or in relationship-wise, it's financially or something else, or it's family. I just want to be, I don't want to say happy, but I want to be at peace.
I feel like in my 30s, I want to be financially comfortable enough to just take a long break and just chill, like enjoy life.
What matters most to me now is peace of mind. I know people say this peace of mind thing when they just say it and just throw it around, like the way people throw "I love you" around. For me, peace is internal. It's I have to be in tune with myself at every point of time. Like, look, the minute a situation is no longer comfortable for me, also putting into context my tolerance level, and also putting into context like how whatever decisions I take would affect people. The minute I know that I'm making a fair and just assessment of a situation, and the outcome of this assessment is that my peace will be jeopardized,
the most important to me is my peace of mind. I just want to always be at peace with myself, with the decisions that I make, with the places I go, with the things that I do. I want it to bring me peace, not to please anybody, but just because that's what I want to do, and to be able to stand by it like I did it, I said it, I will do it again, and I will say it again. That's most important to me.
Nobody told me that sex was this good. Like, I know that sex is heart, is love, is everything. It's like the highest form of communication.
When I turned 30, I was still married. And I was already hearing all of the, sex gets so much better in your 30s. And sex hadn't been great for me in my 20s. So I was really looking forward to sex getting better for me in my 30s. And it didn't happen.
Every time that I think about sex, even though I know that you can have sex if you want to have sex, it's great. But there's just always a part of me that feels like I'm letting go of something. And I don't like it at all. But yeah, that's like something that is also like a struggle. And I feel like it's as a result of my growing up.
I feel like my 30s has been drier than my 20s. Just because I think in my 20s, I was more open to having terrible sex.
I was in a heterosexual relationship as a lesbian. And, of course I wasn't having the sex that I wanted to be having. When I finally came into my sexuality, I think that I had a teenage phase in my 30s. That phase you have when you first discover sex and you're just having loads of sex. Everyone who would have sex with you. I had that in my early 30s. Because, I'm sorry, I didn't have the same, life path as heterosexual women, and I needed to explore so my sins.
So masturbation helps, so.
Absolutely. So that's the one thing I would, that's the one thing I would say.
I mean, I'm not having any right now. I'm celibate. So, and I'm celibate for a bunch of reasons. I mean, apart from, spiritual reasons for myself and, I'm Christian and I tend to take that very seriously. But I will tell you that your body starts to jump you by itself when you're, at that, it's real. It's a real thing. 30, I'm like, what's going on?
Aside from the urge, right, it's become more enjoyable. Sweet like sugar. Like when something's itching your ass, scratching it, that sweet feeling. It's just like,
Oh, Lord have mercy. Orgasms are real and they are like volcanoes. You would experience it. Nobody said that, so I'm telling you. So say thank you to me. Peace.
I mean, I think, there are a lot of health implications to being 30 or 30 plus. I mean, I think the first time I ever experienced like the weak knees thing was earlier this year, right? And usually like whenever I go out and dance, I'm always, go down. I'm like, yeah. And what did I went down? I know if he come up, I say, it's hello, ma. Right? So I definitely noticed some weakness in the knees, but that was something that I think being more physically fit cured.
We can do the rest of the interview like this. My trainer. I've actually recently, for the first time, gotten a trainer, and I think he'll be proud of me because I'm actually wearing heels too, So, like, what else? I don't want to pop or anything like that. I don't need to pop, right? And I got up all on my own, sorry.
When you're 30, a lot of things tend to happen, right? First of all, you got to start using your serums, right? Your anti-aging serum. You're 25, you got... Honey, you're not young anymore. Your body, although you feel young, your body might not be saying the same thing, speaking the same language as you, right? So I think, you have to start using your serums. You have to start taking your supplements. I take a lot of supplements, your vitamin C, your zinc, your magnesium. What else do I take? Probiotics for your gut, a biotin for your hair and your skin.
The most freeing thing about living like this is just knowing that the most imprisoning thing, the most caging thing is living for people.
I love the agency that comes with being 30.
I lack zero need to conform. My need to conform is not existent. Like, I lack it. Like, people, and it's not like I'm deliberately trying to be contrarian or something. No, I just understand myself. Knowing who I am at this particular point in time, being saturated in my growth and my potential and my possibility, being free from the judgment of anybody. So I think the most freeing thing to me is I'm no longer rigid with so many things. I have plans, but I also understand that while these are my plans and I'm working towards them, if anything else comes or if I have to go through a different plan, I'm going to be okay. My priority is now that I have to be fine. No matter what happens, as long as I'm good, I'm fine. No more, you have to do it like this or I have to be this way. And it helps a lot because I don't feel pressured and nobody else can put pressure on me because I won't feel it. That's the truth.
For me right now is just the ability to own myself, man. I was listening to Ore when she was speaking, and she was like, she's like, sometimes I feel like I have to rein myself in, when she was growing up. I don't care about that, And I also realized that who I am and how I am is a gift. And it's okay to be a lot. I think it's important to own it. And I think that's where I'm at.
Something really powerful happens when we confront, refuse to hide, or be blinded by the idea that there's only one way that things could go. So, here's to the death of everything we've been socialized, the boxes nailed together for us, and the names we choose not to bear. Here's to living our lives how we want.
Death to 30. Death to 30.